Alright, hello everybody. This is my deck tech that I've been working on. Sorry for the slow putting stuff up, but I'm going to say this right away. When I pull this deck out of the deck box, my first thing that I tell everybody is this is a combo deck. Now, what do I mean by it's a combo deck? Well, a majority of the cards in the deck are combo cards in some sort of fashion or another. The interesting thing about this deck is there is no search in this deck. You have to draw through the deck so that it remains interesting every time. I am not a big fan. I've said it in my other posts. I'm not a huge fan of combos, but I did build a combo deck, it is a good deck. It's interesting. It can flex a lot of different ways, but you have to actually draw into the combo to actually get it to go off. And there's a pretty good possibility that'll happen. But yeah, I let people know right up front, hey, this is a combo deck. And so that they're prepared for it, so that they don't get disappointed when like 4 to 5 turns in, I'm like, and I win the game. If something was like that was going to happen, that way they can know that I am that kind of threat on the table. Anyway, so this is my Nin the Pain Artist deck, my Nin the Pain Artist combos deck, and you can. She's a blue and a red, and she's a 1/1. And I can pay X and a blue and a red, and she deals X damage to target creature. That creature's controller draws that many cards. So basically, I can ping Nin. I can actually hit herself to do the damage to draw cards for myself. I can remove threats on the other side of the table. I'm going to try and get through this as fast as I can and explain the combos at the same time, but there's more combos in it than I'm going to be able to explain. I'll just do my best as I can as I'm kind of going through. I have the deck already organized like in combo fashion. So, all right, here we go. So there's an in. We've got, I believe it's 6 mountains and 10 islands. Okay. Alright, and then we have our fetches: Misty Rainforest, Wooded Foothills, Scalding Tarn, Bloodstained Mire, and Flooded Strand, Command Tower, Cascade Bluffs, Steam Vents for my fetches, Path to Ancestry. It's just going to let me scry down into my deck, start digging for those combos. Shivan Reef, color fixing if I need it, Volcanic Island, and we've got Sulphur Falls, and Riptide Laboratory is going to allow me to return a wizard I control to my hand. So I do have a lot of wizards in the deck. This is going to allow me to return those wizards to my hands. So there's a Wizard Sums theme. Thespian Stage is just going to let me copy one of my other lands and play if I need to. Arcane Lighthouse is going to allow me to target things that would not normally be able to be targeted. No max hand size here since we're going to be hopefully drawing lots of cards. And Haste for Nin if I need it. So target creature gains Haste. Talaria West is going to allow me to search for a specific land if I need to get it. These lands here are going to line up with the combo of like Peregrine Drake or Palancron later. So Temple of the False God, Izzet Boiler Works, Coral Atoll, and then Academy Ruins is going to put an artifact from your graveyard on top of your library. Okay, here we go, combos. So the first combo would be taking the other player's turns away from them. With the Academy Ruins, that's the combo right there. Okay. Some card draw. We've got Opt, Brainstorm, Heuristic Study, Azami. Again, there's a lot of wizards in here, so this is going to be more card draw for us. Arcanis, and I can also return him to my hand, but he allows me to draw 3. Azure Mage, there's a way to go infinite with mana, and which you could draw into a bunch of cards. And if you drew your whole deck out, you could use Laboratory Maniac to win the game. Sensei's Divining Top is just going to allow us to line up on the top of our decks and draw cards if we need to. Mana early on, and then draw a card for Commander's Fear. Mind Stone, same idea. Thought Vessel, again, no max hand size, and it's mana ramp. Rings of Brighthearth is going to combo with Basalt Monolith, so it would be basically tap Basalt Monolith for 3 mana, and then use the 2 of the mana to do an untap on this guy, and then, or well, you pay the 3 and then the 2, so it'd be 5, and then you can untap it twice. So you're gonna net 1 every time you do it, and you can go infinite with colorless mana this way. Look it up if it doesn't make sense. This is just a way to put more mana on the board. It also, your opponents are less likely to blow it up if all lands are making extra mana. High Tide is definitely a combo-like card that's going to give us extra blue for our islands. Peregrine Drake, when it comes in, you can untap 5 lands. If you have those dual lands like Izzet Boiler Works out there, it's gonna make extra mana. Palinchron, same idea. Definitely, if you're high tiding or you're into your mana flare, it's pretty easy to go ahead and go infinite with mana with Palinchron. Deadeye Navigator is just going to allow us to go infinite with mana easier with those last 2. Sakashima the Impostor, you can use this guy with Peregrine Drake and Palinchron to make some mana. If you have done things like High Tide or Mana Flare, you can actually get there infinite with Sakashima as well. Nivix Guildmage, so we're looking at the second ability here, and what we're looking to do is combo with this here. So you would tap all your lands for mana and cast Turnabout, and then you're basically trying to copy Turnabout, and then you're just recopying Turnabout over and over again to go infinite with mana. Capsize, if you have infinite mana, then you can also infinitely remove things from the board if you wanted to. Use that infinite mana into Banefire. If it's more than 5, it can't be countered, so, and the damage can't be prevented. So this is obviously going to be good if we're trying to burn somebody out of the game. All this infinite mana also works with Nin, as she is blue, red, and X. So there she is, blue, red, and X. So it also, all the infinite mana stuff also works with our commander, and it allows us to draw a bunch of cards, which also works with Lab Maniac. Comet Storm, again, just another way to infinite mana burn somebody, or or several people at once, since you can multi-kicker to choose more than one target. Stroke of Genius, you can make somebody draw out of their deck, or you can make yourself draw out of a deck. Okay, Archaeomancer is going to allow us to turn instants and sorceries from our graveyard to our hand. So Izzet Chronarch, with something like Cloudstone Curio in play, you could potentially bounce that Izzet Chronarch in over and over again, or use an Erratic Portal to put it back in your hand and cast it again for stuff like Evacuation, or a Time Warp, so you could take infinite turns if you needed to. Talrand is just pretty much value here, and also these blue drakes could drop in to return that Izzet Chronarch or that Archaeomancer back to our hands. So a Drake comes in, we return Archaeomancer, and then we get our instants back. So it seems pretty good, and we get you know, more and more creatures as we kind of keep going. Docent of Perfection. I was digging this guy because I have almost, what, 30 instants and sorceries in here, so a third of the deck almost. And whenever I cast an instant or sorcery, I get to put a 1/1 blue human wizard creature token onto the battlefield. And then if I have 3 or more wizards, which I most likely will, it's going to turn my wizards into flyers and give them 2/1, and then it still has the same ability on the back as well. So I thought that fit the deck well. Venser, there's plenty of ways to get Venser blinking in and out of play, and again, just kind of like a capsize. Dualcaster Mage and Rite of Replication. This took me a minute to kind of figure it out as guys were talking on. So basically you overload Rite of Replication, and then once it's overloaded, then you cast Dualcaster Mage. When Dualcaster Mage comes into play, you copy the overloaded Rite of Replication, and then as the copy of Rite of Replication hits the stack, you're going to choose Dualcaster Mage as the thing you're going to copy. So the first Rite of Replication is copying whatever, regardless. The second copy is going to copy Dualcaster Mage, and then all the Dualcaster Mages that fall after that are coming off of the original Rite of Replication, just copying itself over and over and over again. So you can go infinite with Dualcaster Mages. Alright, and make a lot of wizards. This guy may be familiar in combo lands. So there's Niv-Mizzet the Firemind and Curiosity. So whenever you draw a card, Niv-Mizzet the Firemind deals 1 damage to target creature or player, and this just lets you draw cards. So you're drawing cards and doing damage over and over and over again as these combo together. Locust God, as we draw more and more cards in the deck, this is just going to make 1/1 blue and red insect creature tokens with flying and haste. So we have lots of ways to draw tons of cards, and this is going to make a bunch of creatures that maybe we can smash with if we don't have enough cards to draw to kill everybody. Okay, so we're getting into, here comes the Kiki-Jiki, Pestermite, Deceiver Exarch, Splinter Twin combos. So I will explain this, I guess. So you play one of these guys at the end of somebody's turn before your turn, since they have flash, and then you play Kiki-Jiki on your turn, and you make a copy. And then the copy comes in, and you untap Kiki-Jiki, and you just keep doing it again and again and again until you have infinite hasty creatures off of Kiki-Jiki. And the same idea with Splinter Twin, you're just casting this guy, flashing it in before your turn, and then you put Splinter Twin behind it, and then you can just make infinite Pestermites and untap Pestermite over and over again, or Deceiver Exarch. Isochron Scepter just seems like a value card for this deck. I have a lot of counter spells in here, and I have a lot of other instants that are just 1 and 2 cost. So no matter what, it seems like it's going to work out. But I'm going to put that down for a second. So here comes our counters. We got Pact and Negation, Familiar's Ruse. We can return like Archaeomancer or the Izzet Chronarch to get more, possibly get this back and loop this if we needed to. Mana Drain is just going to work well with our commander, giving us that mana. Counter Spell, Arcane Denial, and just lines up with that blue-red God. So we're going to draw a card and we'll get a creature, and yeah, it just works out well there. This is kind of the combo here, is you can just keep putting the same card back on top of somebody's library over and over and over again so that they can't really draw cards. With Memory Lapse and Isochron Scepter. And then we have Disappearing Act is the same idea as Familiar Ruse. Disallow, so we can stop an activated or triggered ability as well as counter spell. This one is can't be countered, and it counters target spell you don't control, but I can also overload it to, if somebody's trying to storm, I can stop their storm. Cryptic Command, lots of different modes that we can use here, but usually end up doing the dismiss route with it, which is counter a spell and draw a card. Force of Will, exile a card. Earlier on, if I just don't have the mana, I can exile a card out of my hand if I really need to stop something and go ahead and counter a spell. And then here we have just a little bit of removal in the back, so we have Chaos Warp, so we can get rid of a target permanent, and then, you know, the person's going to reveal the top card if it's permanent, goes on the battlefield, but we're just getting that pain in the ass out of the way. And then we have card draw and return a target non-land permanent. And then we have exile target creature. And then the opponent's going to go ahead and manifest the top card of their library. And Cyclonic Rift finally is the last card, and this is just value for us. It's just good stuff. Basically be able to bounce everybody's stuff out of play. We're just delaying so that we can get into our combo. Anyway, that is blue-red combos in the Pain Artist. I would actually be interested if somebody else would build this deck and kind of tell me what they think about it. I don't play it very much because I'm not, like I said, I'm not big on combos, but I do let people know when I am playing it, and nobody's really gotten upset with me about it. But anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys think of combos. It'll probably be another couple weeks until I release a deck tech again. Just kind of taking my time going through it. I have a lot of other stuff going on, but I do enjoy doing this when I get an opportunity. So anyway, please stay tuned, and I hope to put out some more stuff soon. Thank you. Bye.